Where we can take this this discussion, build a little on what others spoke about, and share a little of my learnings. Let me buy some insurance upfront to say what I talk about and what I've learned is not necessarily the only way. There are, and I have a picture that shows this, there are various ways to climb Mount Everest. It is about reaching the destination. The path can vary, what you do can vary. Also, from my little window, it is extremely important to enjoy the journey. Rivi brought out the fact that it can take up to 10 years, maybe more, maybe less. Actually, the phrase I use, I was asked by a journalist on this, and since then I've used this phrase again and again of what I told her, that it takes 30 years of hard work to become an overnight success. So what you see is this little piece, quattro comes from the Latin word fourth, and yes, this is the fourth adventure, and yes, we've created 35,000 jobs and all the kind things that people had to say. We will not talk about this. We will talk about what goes into creating it. The effort and the hard work. Not the visible part that others stand up and are kind enough to clap about. So what is entrepreneurship? This is a question that was asked, and I'll talk about, which way I look at it. But to understand it, I went to the dictionary, dictionary.com. And said, what is it that defines entrepreneurship? And this is the definition. What you see on the screen is what I found. And as I analyzed what I saw in the definitions, in the three phrases that were there were things that kind of stood out to me. Person who organizes, takes risk, a risk taker, skills and initiative, organizes a business venture, takes a risk. And as I reflected on it, and I looked at these words which were that key, at least to me, they started making a lot of sense. To say that it is about taking a risk, about having a belief, of having a faith. Logically, not illogically to turn around and say, I will prove that this is not water but whiskey. Why, I believe it, it's whiskey in the glass. We'll prove it like that. I wish it was, though. Water. But having a logical aspect that at least in your mind you're able to link together, and then you take a risk because, and I'm going to use extreme words to make my point, because lesser mortals do not see it. But in your mind you logically put it together to say that there is a logical conclusion, and then you take the risk. If I go back with my journey, 20 years ago, this wonderful BPO industry did not exist. No international work was done from India. Today, all of you sit with the mobile phones. She gave an excellent example of the entrepreneurs using mobile into the student world. You all do? I guess the correct question is, how many without a mobile phone? Okay, 0. 20 years ago, when I wanted to talk to my boss in US, we didn't have a mobile phone. There were those nice little rotary instruments, copper lines, not even fiber optic. You had to book what was at that time called, it is still called the same, a lightning call for 3 minutes. And 8 out of 10 times the 3-minute call never closed because it used to drop in between. And my boss, when I went with a proposal to say what we would do out of India, said, Raman, I can't even talk to you for 3 minutes. And you're telling me that you'll process my vendor payable invoices out of India. You're loony. You're smoking something strange. It will never happen. Actually, if he'd not told me that, this industry would never have happened. Because I came back to say, isko to dikhayenge. But it was a risk. When ultimately my company decided after, I can take you through some gory details and make you burst into tears feeling sorry for me. But ultimately when my company did decide to invest and they gave me the job, I remember having a chat with the head of HR. Where they said, so we're going to do this, you've always been tom-tomming India, we're going to put this into India. Said, very good. If it doesn't work, my old job is there, no? So he got up, he closed the door of his office, he made me sit down and said, that is the reason I called you. It either works or you will be fired. As a sole breadwinner of the family, if I had gone and told my family that I've just accepted a job which if it doesn't work, I'll get fired, they would have been very worried. I said yes. I think it is 3 days later I realized what I had said yes to. So there is a risk, but there is a logic to which you take the risk. To my mind, it is not about being an entrepreneur. It is about entrepreneurship. And that doesn't happen when you have the venture at the end of it. That is perhaps the culmination. It is whether you demonstrate the same skills and the same capabilities on an ongoing basis. I ask the people I interview the questions. Everybody understands Hindi in this room. Those who don't understand Hindi, raise your hand. कि घर में बिजली जाता है तो कौन उठता है उसको ठीक करने को? जब बल्ब नहीं चलता है तो कौन उठता है? जब टोस्टर नहीं चलता है, जब पानी लीक होता है, because there is an opportunity that is created when every such event happens. If it is a part of your DNA to make that opportunity into a successful event, that is the entrepreneurship capability, and in the world of tomorrow, you will get the idea and take it to the next level. It is also about thinking of what you have to do. Let me take another example. Cricket. Nowadays it's a bad example, no? After we lost all those matches, even in T20 we lost. But when you play cricket, you play to win, right? You play to beat the opposition. When you bowl to get the guy out, correct? I don't know. Let me give you an example. When I was a young kid, एक बैट होता था. जिसका बैट होता था, अगर वो आउट हो जाए वो बैट उठा के घर चले जाता था. And the game was over. And he was smart enough to say that the good bowlers have to bowl to him. तो जब वो बॉल करता था उसको जाके के साला आउट किया तो पिटाई कर देंगे. 2 ओवर उसको बॉल करते थे, उसके बाद उसको थर्ड मैन पे खड़ा करके वो फील्ड करता था, उसके बैट से हम क्रिकेट खेलते थे. इट इज अबाउट प्लानिंग. It is about the situational leadership. If somebody heard that you told a bowler not to get a guy out, you'd be called what? You'd be called loony. But it is about figuring out a way that what your end objective is and how you will achieve it. You all hear about the BPO industry, you all hear about the call center industry. 800,000 people employed directly, about 4 million indirectly. There was a big guy with whom we were working, I'm talking of 15 years ago. At that time, there were no fiber optic cables under the sea. The signal had to come via satellite. And he said, when the signal from America will go to the satellite and from satellite it will come down to India and it will come, there will be a lag. That lag will show in the voice and therefore doing voice business out of India will not work. Logically, he was right. तो हमने क्या किया? एक उसका दोस्त होता था. One of my colleagues knew him very well. And whenever they met, they would go out and have a beer and have a meal, etc. together. We got that guy to call him from my office using the international circuit and say that I'm in town. Can we meet in the evening for a drink? And we'll go out for a meal. और उसको ये बोला गया था 3 मिनट से पहले तुमने फोन बंद किया तो प्रॉब्लम हो जाएगी. So for 3 minutes, hey Joe, how are you? How's the family? Oh, how's the weather? Can we meet in the evening? Yeah, I'm in town. Will we go to this bar or will we go to that bar? We'll do this and everything. And at the end of 3 minutes, he said, okay, so now we are meeting in the evening. What is this crap you're talking about? To which he said, so we are meeting this evening. I said, yes. We just agreed. You gone loony or what? So you believe I'm in your town? So that's what you just said. So you believe I'm calling you from your town and we are going to meet in the evening. By the way, I'm calling from India. And there was a pause. And then he said, if you think the pause was so bad that the call won't happen, I said, let me think about it, I'll call you back. If my bosses had found out what I did, I would have lost my job. If that guy got upset, he was a very, very senior guy. I would have lost my job. The guy understood what we were trying to prove to him. It created an industry. Did I get that bright idea? Somebody got the bright idea, I helped them refine it, I helped them take it to the next level. So what is entrepreneurship? I found this definition and I thought I'd share it with you because I find this very interesting for what it says. Recognition and pursuit of an opportunity without regard to resources that you currently have, with the confidence that you can succeed, with the flexibility to change role and a will to rebound from setbacks. All of these